Fred Armisen, the comedian and actor from SNL, inspired me to build this guitar. I may be the first person ever to say this statement in a YouTube video about a guitar. It's true though. I was watching a video of Fred playing in a punk band in a backyard in a charity event that had the likes of Fred, Jack Black, and the Go-Go's playing music. The charity show was put on by Muzak.org. Their mission and goal is to provide instruments and instruction for music to underprivileged kids and teens. Pretty cool charity. I've put a link to the video in the comments and also in the description of the video. It was then that I saw Fred's guitar that he was playing. It was a white aged Les Paul Tele, and it had a P90 for the neck pickup. After doing some research, I found that the guitar is a Fano Guitars Alt Facto SP6. I looked around to see how much they went for and found that they go for between, and I found one used at a low price, $2,500. Most were in the $4,000 to $5,000 price range. I can't afford that, but I can try to build one though. So I started my search for parts that I would need to do a build like this. I started first to look around for a Les Paul body with a Telecaster neck pocket, Telecaster bridge and pickup routing, and a P90 pickup routing in the neck position. I ended up on the Woodtech routing page, and I'm familiar with them and have purchased from them in the past. I found something that would work great on the project. It'd be a slight deviation, but it'd be pretty cool nonetheless. They had what was called a two-piece Catalpa full carve neck P90 Les Paul Tele. The body only weighed 3.6 pounds, so this meant it would make for a very lightweight guitar. I really liked the contouring look of it. The body was only $205, so I ordered it. When I got the body, I really, like I said before, liked the contouring. It looks great in person, and the rear-loaded electronics control route. The guitar will look different from the Fano guitar in this way because of the contouring and that I will not be able to install a pickguard with a heavily contoured top. I sanded the guitar body down and decided that I did not want to smooth the grain before I painted it by applying grain filler. I had another guitar in almost the same color that I was planning on using, and the person had painted the body, and they hadn't used grain filler, and the body was just absolutely beautiful with these painted little grains all throughout. It just looked very cool. Very nice look to the guitar. The color I planned on using was StewMax Colortone Aerosol Guitar Lacquer Daphne Blue. I found one in a picture of a Fano guitar that basically had this finish / color, and I really liked it. I applied the entire can of Daphne Blue Nitro to the body in mini coats. It took me 3 days to apply just the color lacquer and let it dry properly. Then I applied an entire can of gloss nitrocellulose lacquer. I let the body dry for a couple weeks before moving onward with a build. I'm really happy with how the body turned out. I'm not very skilled with finishing, but I think that I'm getting better. I know the steps to do a good job in my head. Sometimes though, my final product doesn't turn out how I wanted it to turn out. I'm just having to be patient and keep working at it until I improve over time. I guess this is how it is with anything you're trying to master or get better at. Luckily, this one was one of the times where everything just fell into place just right, and the body came out looking great. I tested the neck fit and found it to be too tight. I lightly sanded the insides of the neck pocket until the neck fit snugly, but not too tight. I knew I'd be installing noisy and hot pickups in this guitar. I took the time to paint 3 coats of StewMax conductive shielding paint. It appears to be expensive at first, being $50 to $60. I bought mine on sale for $49 something for a half pint. But $50 on sale is, like I said, kind of expensive. But after applying the 3 coats to all of the cavities of this guitar over the course of 3 days, I realized that I had barely put a dent in the amount of conductive paint in the can. The half pint can probably do 25 to 30 guitars, if not more. When I was done painting, I ran ground wires between each of the 3 rotted cavities. When I checked the continuity between each of the 3 cavities, they were in fact connected. When I was done building my wiring harness, I would connect a line to the back of one of the pots as a body ground. Hopefully all of this time and work will pay off in a much quieter guitar. For the pickups, I went with Seymour Duncan. For the neck, I purchased a Seymour Duncan SP90 vintage P90 soap bar pickup with a black cover. For the bridge, I wanted something really hot, so I went with a Seymour Duncan STL-3 quarter-pound Tele pickup. For the pair, it was only $217 from Amazon. The wire I needed to order parts because the holes that were drilled for the two pots in the guitar body would require long neck pots. I ordered two CTS long neck pots. One is a 250K pot for the tone, and one is a 500K pot for the volume. I would install a .047 UF orange drop capacitor and a Fender 3-way vintage style pickup selector switch. Also, to account for the bridge pickup, I'd install a 470K ohm resistor that would go from the terminal on my 3-way switch where the bridge hot lead was soldered, and then it would connect to ground on the back of the volume pot. This way the bridge would see the volume pot roughly as a 250K pot instead of 500K, and the P90 pickup would still see it as a 500K. I found that this combination of pots with a P90 is something that I've grown accustomed to liking. For the bridge, I went with a Fender vintage bridge plate and a Goto in-tune compensated saddles for Telecaster brass set of 3. The knobs, I went with a silver pickup selector knob and the usual chrome Tele knobs. Last but not least, the neck. The neck is a Fender American channel-bound Telecaster maple neck with rosewood fingerboard. The neck has some unusual specs, but with the rosewood channel I thought it would look perfect for this guitar. The neck is made of maple with a rosewood fretboard. The neck shape is a modern C with, and here's one of the differences, a compound fingerboard radius of 9.5 inches to 14 inches. It has 21 medium jumbo frets, a nut material of synthetic bone. The nut width is 1.6875 inches or 42.8 millimeters. And the scale length is 25.5 inches or 648 millimeters. The neck, unfortunately, is the most expensive part of this build, costing more than everything else combined. Retail price today for the neck is $755. I already had one on hand, so I didn't have to buy it. I had picked up a couple of the channel-bound necks a few years back in a trade. It's a difficult neck to use on a Tele build if you plan on selling it. I've had one on a couple builds that I've tried to sell in my reverb store, and regardless of it being a Fender American-made neck, I think the compound radius and the channel has made it a non-starter for folk. It's just not very Tele traditional. The offers I got, I never would have been able to recoup the neck costs, so I'd always end up, in both cases that I tried this, I pulled the neck off and sold the body as a loaded body in my reverb store. Both listings sold right away, and for a good price. With this body and overall look, though, I think the neck fits perfectly. I can't stop looking at this guitar. I think it's cool as hell looking. I already have another body on order. It's a non-contour Les Paul Tele body with P90 neck pickup route, Tele neck pocket, Tele bridge and pickup routing, and a top-loaded Tele electronics cavity. So it looked pretty much just like the guitar that Fred was playing. I also ordered a pickguard that I found online for the Fano Alt Facto SP6, so when I'm done, short of the Telecaster headstock, my second go at duplicating this guitar should look pretty similar to the one he was playing. I even already have the neck and pickups. For the neck, I have a Player 2 Rosewood Tele neck, and for the pickups, I have a set of Tone Pros. One's a P90, and the other is a Tone Pros Tele bridge. I'm really excited about putting another one of these together. I'm contemplating about doing a video covering the build. I haven't really decided. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a version 2 build of this guitar.